All right, welcome back. Just buzzing through the first hour of a Money Monday edition of Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm John Tobacco. We're coming to you live. No, not from the Corona Bunker Studios in my house. We're out on the road. We're at the beautiful Angelina's Restaurante, the Taunton Villa, as they call it, right here in beautiful Staten Island. And doing some testing today for a big show we got going tomorrow night. Kevin McCullough is going to join me along with Frank Morano, Aaron Elmore, Kirsten Tate, a whole bunch of other great guests. AJ Katzmatidis is going to be here. Sky Ostreicher. John McLaughlin, Trump's pollster, is going to be with us tomorrow night to break down everything going on in the debate. We're going to be right here at Angelina's Restaurant. We're going to be killing it. As we do every Monday, we kill it when we bring on our money guest. Joining me right now is Fernando Uribe. Fernando is great friend of mine, great friend of the show. He joins me every Monday. He's the host of Real Talk via Eyes on NJ, also a faculty member over at Bergen Community College. Hey, Fernando, how are you today, brother?
Good afternoon. Hope you're well.
Things are going good. We got out of the studio. We're in a beautiful new location, and we're trying to pull off another great coup here for Liquid Lunch. But it seems like Nancy Pelosi's living in Wonderland. She's saying that she still thinks in the middle of the debates and the Supreme Court justice hearings and everything else that a deal is still possible on the stimulus, on the corona relief bill. What gives here, brother?
Well, John, it's interesting because Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have restarted talks, but it seems like it's a little too late. Apparently, there's some internal polling among Democrats, that especially moderate Democrats, are upset with Pelosi at not getting a deal done sooner, especially with so many vulnerable House seats. And again, John, with less than 40 days to go, this is getting all political now. And really, for so many millions of Americans that are still looking for PPP protection, some sort of aid with unemployment benefits, this is a demographic that Democrats are still trying to cling on to. And it seems like that's not going to work. And from what I'm understanding with the numbers, they're like $1 trillion apart. And even though that Pelosi and the House Dems are trying to introduce a smaller bill than originally indicated, it seems like Steve Mnuchin isn't going to budge here. Listen, he doesn't want to give away the farm, but he also doesn't want to cave to the House Democrats. So I think we're trying to swindle the American people here.
Yeah, I mean, it sure looks like Trump's, building his base again. He's getting out. He's having these outdoor rallies. There's so much support, enthusiasm. Now the base is even fired up more when they see he puts forward Amy Coney Barrett. I think she's almost an unimpeachable prospect to be a justice. She just went through the whole process to get on the federal court. It sure to me looks like that Trump's really energized base, and there's people coming out all over the place who say they haven't voted, and some of them, 15% of the people who voted Democrat, are saying they're voting for Trump. This looks like a ham-handed political maneuver by Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, it certainly does, John. And isn't it interesting that the party that, of course, loves to proclaim itself as the defender of women, well, you know what? If this was a liberal woman with 7 children, who's a working mom, 2 adopted children from Haiti, you know what? The liberal press and left-wingers everywhere would be putting this woman on a monument. But because it's a conservative woman, and as you said, someone who has an unimpeachable record, has been a very distinguished jurist, has gone through the process, Democrats are going to find a way to stall this. But you know what? Here's a newsflash. They're not going to be able to. It seems that there isn't one Republican in the Senate that's going to oppose this nomination. And of course, you have, the fantastic 4 clowns of Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, Dick Durbin. I mean, what an appropriate name for Richard. And also, Cory Booker on that committee. They're going to do everything to stall this. But, it's not going to work, John, because it didn't work in 2017. It's not going to work now.
No, Fernando, in years gone by, I always used to say, when the Democrats are in control, they don't care. They have no decorum. They just jam it down our throat. And sometimes, like when the Republicans had the Congress, Paul Ryan didn't want to jam it down their throat. He wanted to jump through all these bipartisan hoops. There is no time for reaching across the aisle right now. We have full control. We have the Senate. The Republicans control. They have the Judiciary Committee. They should advise and consent. And Mitch McConnell should jam a vote on the Senate. We know we got 50 votes. We have 1/3 of the court packed with Trump-appointed conservatives. We're safe no matter what happens for a little while, if you ask me on that one, Fernando.
No, John, listen, you're absolutely right. And after what happened in September of 2018 with the Democrats on the Judiciary Committee, the way they treated Brett Kavanaugh was absolutely disgraceful. Again, I'm going back to the Fantastic Four fools that I just referenced. Again, no disrespect to the Fantastic Four from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but these are the Democrats that tried their hardest to derail a very honorable man. And as far as I'm concerned, John, the left is owed nothing after their just despicable behavior 2 years ago. And now this is a woman who, listen, they'll go after her Christianity. They're going to go after the fact, listen, aren't we always hearing liberals saying, well, listen, why aren't more people adopting? Well, guess what? This is a woman who adopted 2 children from Haiti, is a working mother, is a distinguished law professor, and they're still going to find something to bitch and moan about. John, it's the Democratic blueprint, whether it's this year or any other year. And quite frankly, I think people are over it.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy because the party supposedly of diversity, if you remember in the supposed blue wave, the midterm elections, the Democrats were bragging about how they got all these new people like AOC and Ilhan Omar, and we got the Muslims, and we got the women, and we got the Latinos, and this is like the big diverse party, they're saying. And all of a sudden, we wind up with the 2 final contenders for president, 2 80-year-old white guys. And now I'm really curious to see how they attack a white woman who has great faith, what our country was built on, and she's adopted a number of kids who are children of color. So, I mean, how do you attack someone like this and still say that you're for diversity and equality?
Absolutely, John. And I'll even add one more caveat to this. And this is really just another knock on Christianity and Catholicism. And don't get me wrong. Listen, I have certainly a lot of pet peeves about Christianity myself, but raised Catholic, you know what? When it comes to the liberal media or pop culture or liberal Hollywood, they love to ridicule anyone who wears their faith on their sleeves. And someone like Amy Coney Barrett is a devoted Catholic, and there's nothing wrong with that. God forbid you would say something about Muslims or Islam, the liberal media and the left would go crazy. But you know what? It's open season on Christianity and Catholics, and quite frankly, I think that's going to galvanize a lot of the base for the president, because they're going to say, wait a minute, what's going on here? There's an honorable woman and you're throwing her into the fire. John, it's unacceptable, and quite frankly, I think it's going to come back to bite Democrats, you know where, in less than 40 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's it seems to me like the Democrats are so frustrated right now because they just don't know what to do next. They know they have no recourse. When you said before they're going to try to slow it down any way they can, they may try, but there's no apparatus in place. There's no methodology where they can slow this down. There's nothing they can do. The president is constitutionally bound by a phrase that says the president shall fill vacancies, not may, not can, shall. It's his duty to do it. And, you know, all this talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg's deathbed wish, there's nothing in the Constitution that says you shall appoint a justice unless someone makes a deathbed wish. It just doesn't happen. So there is no recourse, and I think we have to put, you know, politeness to the side and just jam it in from the 1 yard line.
John, you're absolutely right. And listen, again, it's one of those things where if there was a Democratic president and Chuck Schumer, God help us, was the majority leader, do you think they wouldn't be trying to stuff this down our throats? Of course they would. It's politics. No one would say it was going to be pretty. No one would say it was going to be fair. It's just politics, John. That's the game. And if you don't like the game, as I tell people, don't get in it. Don't become a political junkie. Don't follow politics. Take up something else as a hobby. But this is the game. It's always been this way. It's going to continue being this way, John.
Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
Right.
And I guess, you know, on our final note here, my Giants are miserable, but your Cowboys just couldn't get it in. No more magic, no last-minute magic for Dak yesterday, and gets picked off to end the game. Tough one to swallow.
John, a horrible NFC East right now with the Redskins and Cowboys at the top of the division at 1 and 2. What a disgraceful division! I swear to God.
I know. I'm sitting there looking at the Giants. I mean, no Saquon. You know what I mean? No real weapons to speak of. Danny Dimes keeps throwing picks and turning over the ball. I'm like, man, 0-3, we're out of it already. But, you know, 1 and 2 is leading the pack. We win, you guys lose again, and everybody's tied at 1 and 3. What a disaster of a division.
It's atrocious. And listen, I might just get lucky and get that dinner on you by 1 win. Who knows? We might go 3 and 13. You might go 2 and 14. I think that's how bad the season might be for both of us.
Got it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised the way things are going right now. But all right, my friend, thank you very much, and Good luck to those boys. I mean, I'm rooting for you. I hate the Cowboys, but, you know, you're my buddy. So, Fernando Uribe joins us every Monday. You can check him out on Real Talk via Eyes on NJ. And you can check us out in just a couple minutes right here. We're going to come back with some more news of the day. Hopefully, Judge Janine is going to join us and talk about her book, Don't Lie to Me.